everyone in here? What's up? Band is live says party time. That's right. Party time. What's up, Superbird? Jarbinks. What? Nigel already sent a super chat? Thank you, Nigel, for your super chat. Nigel says, I'll be sleeping by the time you read this. See ya in the after party on the Monday Live. Save me a burger, will you? Yes, Nigel. Well, I hope you're sleeping well, Nigel, even though you can't hear me right now. But I'll see you at the after party. Thank you so much, Nigel. Really, really appreciate you, man. So kind of you. So kind of you. What's up, Mugen? Salted Tools, JF, Chris, Tony, Brent, Thomas. The crew is here. How are you guys? Y'all ready for 90s trivia? Whoop, whoop. It's 90s trivia family game night tonight. Welcome, everyone. It's our favorite time of the week, Thursdays. Whoop, whoop. We've got our trivia tonight. Welcome, welcome. If this is your first time, welcome. If this is not your first time here, welcome back. This is 90s trivia. How it'll work is I will read a trivia question, and the first person who gets the answer correct on my screen will get a point, and the person with the most points after 5 questions gets to spin this colorful wheel behind me. Now, if I spin the wheel and it lands on this 80sTees tab or this 80sTees tab, you will instantly win a t-shirt. And the t-shirts that we have up for grabs tonight are this G.I. Joe t-shirt. Whoop, whoop. We've got this Super Mario t-shirt, and we've got this Ninja Turtles t-shirt, all from 80sTees.com. They are the ones that are giving away these t-shirts tonight. So thank you so much, Kevin from 80sTees, for giving us the prizes for our game tonight, making it a lot more fun. If you haven't been on 80sTees, definitely go on there. If you like nostalgia shirts, they've got them all. Almost any topic you can think of, you go on 80sTees, search it. It most likely is on a t-shirt. Quality is good. They've been around forever, since 1999, actually. So definitely check them out. They are amazing. And the sizes go from like small up to 5XL in some designs. So the t-shirts that you can win tonight will be sent directly from 80sTees, and you can order your size there. So that's what's going to happen if you land on this 80sTees tab. Now, if you don't land on this tab and land on a mini game, then you have to win the mini game in order to win the t-shirt, all right? So there's a few hoops you have to jump through. You got to get the trivia questions right, the most points, and then you also have to win a mini game in order to win the t-shirt. So this is what's going to happen all throughout the night. I'll keep asking 5 questions, spin the wheel, 5 questions, spin the wheel, and you get the point, all right? So just so we're on the same page, I've got a couple of rules for the game tonight. No abbreviations, so if the answer is Backstreet Boys, make sure you type out the full Backstreet Boys. Don't put BSB unless I say it's okay to abbreviate. Last names only are acceptable. First names only are not, all right? Spelling doesn't have to be correct, but it must sound like the word. So if the word is Seinfeld and you put an X in there, it doesn't sound like Seinfeld, so I can't accept it. So make sure you check your autocorrect. Again, it doesn't have to be spelled correctly, but it must sound like it, all right? Again, it's the first person who gets the answer correct on my screen. I don't know why this happens, but sometimes it'll show that you got the answer first before someone else. I can't accept that. My screen is the official screen, so I have to go with whoever gets it first on my screen. I don't know why that happens. Again, I'm sorry, but that's just the nature of this game. Also, sometimes people will say that they have lagging issues. If that's the case, I would recommend clicking off of the app and then back onto the app. Or what a lot of you guys have done, you figured out a little hack that I'll share with everyone now. So you use your phone. A lot of times the phone is faster than your laptop. So a lot of people use the phone as their main screen. And then they'll use their laptop to type the answer. So they're signed in YouTube on their phone and laptop. They'll use the phone to look at the screen for when I'm talking, and then they'll actually type the answers on their laptop because it's a little bit quicker. So, and they'll just have the volume down on their laptop, I'm assuming. So that's a great hack. A lot of people have different strategies, so do whatever works for you, but I thought I would share because that's a really good one. All right. I believe that is everything. Are y'all ready? Jarbink says, I've been using phone for trivia night since it started. There you go. Yeah, a lot of people, some people can type faster on their phone, other people on the laptop. So it just depends what you're comfortable with. All right. So Roger says, you sunk my battleship. I missed that game. That was the best game. All right, let's do this. Round one, fight. Kidding, don't fight. All right, here is the first question of the night. Here we go. What mall store was famous for scented lotions and body sprays in the 90s? What was the name of that store? I'm sure many of you guys in here frequent that store. Maybe buying gifts for your mom or girlfriend back in the day. All right, first to say Bath and Body Works is Brianna Taylor. That is correct. Brianna is the first one on the board tonight. Nice work, Brianna. Good job. All right, next question. What actress played Xena in Xena Warrior Princess? Last names only are acceptable. First names only are not. What actress played Xena in Xena Warrior Princess? Oh, the captain. Quick to say Lucy Lawless. That is correct. Captain. Second point of the night. Nice work, Captain. Now, I forgot to mention this will go for an hour. All right. So if you're in for a fun night, feel free to stay the full hour. Otherwise, we'll have an after party afterwards at 9 o'clock. All right, here's the next question. What is the name of Goofy's teenage son in a Goofy movie? What was his name? Oh, Crimson Buccaneer. First to say Max. That is correct. Crimson is on the board. Nice work, Crimson. All right, here is the next question. What fictional pop star does Max impersonate during the school assembly in a Goofy movie? I gave away those t-shirts last week. All right, first to say Powerline is Crimson Buccaneer. That is correct, Crimson Buccaneer. That is the second point for you. Nice work, Crimson. All right, here is the next question. What road trip destination does Goofy plan to take his son Max to in a Goofy movie? What was the name of that destination? All right, first to say Lake Destiny is Mel Blanc. That is correct. Nice work, Mel Blanc. All right, guys. I have asked 5 questions. There is a winner this round. Crimson, let's give it up for Crimson. Crimson, you have won the first round of trivia. Nice work, Crimson. Whoop, whoop. Now, Crimson, what this means is that you get to spin this wheel. If you land on this 80sTees tab or this 80sTees tab, you will instantly win a t-shirt. Otherwise, we will play a mini game. If you win that mini game, then you will win either a G.I. Joe t-shirt, Super Mario t-shirt, or a Ninja Turtles t-shirt, all from 80stees.com. So let's spin the wheel. See where we're going to land, Crimson. Where are we going to land? Where are we going to land? Oh, Crimson was close to the 80sTees, but we have landed on high-low G.I. Joe. All right. So, Crimson, how this game will work is I'm going to split the deck, but first I'll give the deck a bit of a shuffle. Why not? Well, that was a bad shuffle, but it was an okay shuffle nonetheless. I'm going to split the deck. Oh, I have pulled an 8, Crimson. Now, Crimson, you got to tell me whether this card here is higher or lower than an 8? If you guess correctly, then you will win a t-shirt. Crimson, is this card right here higher or lower than an 8? What do you think? Let me know. Chat saying lower, higher. Let's see what Crimson says. Crimson is going with low. Okay. Let's see if this card here is lower than an 8. Oh, no, it's not, Crimson. It is barely above an 8. It is a 9. I'm sorry, Crimson. You have not won this mini game, but no fret. We've got 50 minutes left of trivia. Still plenty of more time to win some t-shirts. So stick around. We'll keep going. Let's read the next trivia question. All right, here we go. What 1996 horror movie features a masked killer known as Ghostface? What was the name of that horror movie? I know there's a lot of horror fans in here, so you guys definitely will get this one. All right, first to say Scream is The Captain. That is correct. The Captain has got a point in round 2. Nice work, Captain. Captain, my captain. All right, here's the next question. What 1999 horror film featured the legend of a witch haunting a Maryland forest? This is one I never watched, but I know a lot of you guys did and said it was pretty creepy. Pretty creepy. All right, we need the full name of this movie and Brianna Taylor with the Blair Witch Project. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I can't accept it, Brianna, because it doesn't sound like it. So Mel Blanc, first to say Blair Witch Project. That is correct. Mel Blanc is on the board for round 2. Nice work, Mel Blanc. All right, here's the next question. What 1997 horror movie involved a killer stalking teens 1 year after a deadly accident? Make sure you type out the full name of this movie. This is one I've actually watched. I missed out on a lot of the 90s movies. This one I have seen. Oh. You guys are pretty quick on that for such a long movie title. So Sean, 21683, first to say, I Know What You Did Last Summer. That is correct. Sean is on the board. Nice work, Sean. Now, I forgot to tell you with the t-shirts, once you have won a t-shirt, you cannot win any more. And there's only 3 up for grabs tonight. So once they're gone, they are gone. All right. Okay, here's the next question. What 1992 horror film featured a hook-handed urban legend haunting a Chicago housing project? What was the name of that horror film? All right. First to say Candyman is Jolly Bones. That is correct. Jolly Bones. Nice work. You were on the board. For round 2, here is the next question. What 1990 movie based on a Stephen King novel featured a killer clown named Pennywise? What was the name of that movie? Easy one to type. Alphanumeric with it. That is correct. Alphanumeric has got a point for round 2. Now, I have asked 5 questions. There is no clear winner, so we will keep asking questions until there's a clear winner this round. All right, next question. What metal band released the album Follow the Leader in 1998? What was the name of the band? All right, Eloy, first to say corn. That is correct. Nice work, Eloy. Eloy's got a point. Next question. What metal band released the hit song Enter Sandman in 1991? What was the name of that band? The Captain with Metallica. That is correct. The Captain. Congratulations, The Captain. You have won round 2 of our trivia night. Whoop, whoop. Nice work, Captain. So what this means, Captain, is you get a chance to win either a G.I. Joe t-shirt, a Super Mario t-shirt, or a Ninja Turtles t-shirt, all from 80sTees.com. So what I'm going to do, Captain, I'm going to spin the wheel. If you land on this 80sTees tab or this 80sTees tab, you will instantly win a shirt. Otherwise, we will play mini game. If you win that mini game, then you will win a shirt. So, Captain, let's see where your fate lies. We've got hot or not. All right, hot or not. Here's how this game is going to work, Captain. I'm going to give a shuffle. We're going to pull a card. Now, Captain, you've got to tell me whether the card I pulled is red for hot or black for not. If you guess correctly, you will win a t-shirt. Captain, is the card red for hot or black for not? Let us know. Captain says black. All right, let's see if Captain is correct tonight. Is this card black for not? Oh, no, it is not. Captain, I'm sorry, it is red for hot, which means there is no t-shirt to give away this round. However, lots more time left to win a t-shirt tonight. So let's keep going. All right, here we go. Round 3. First to win the most points after 5 questions gets to spin the wheel. Here we go. What Nickelodeon game show featured teams like the Red Jaguars and Silver Snakes? What was the name of that game show? All right, first you say Legends of the Hidden Temple is alphanumeric. That is correct. Alphanumeric is on the board again. Nice work, alphanumeric. All right, here is the next question. What British rock band released the hit song Wonderwall? What was the name of that British rock band? You're my Wonderwall. All right, first to say Oasis is Charles. That is correct. Charles is on the board. Nice work, Charles. All right, here's the next question. This one you can abbreviate if you want to. What rapper released the double album All Eyes on Me in 1996? What was the name of that rapper? All right, first to say Tupac is OU. That is correct. OU has got a point. Nice work. Next question. What video game nickname did fans give the protagonist of Doom? What video game nickname did fans give the protagonist of Doom? All right, first to say Doom guy is SquarePants. That is correct. SpongeBob SquarePants. Nice work, SquarePants. Here's the next question. What TV network aired cartoons like Rugrats and Hey Arnold? Waits says, how are you today? I am good, Waits. How are you? Good to see you, Waits. All right. First to say Nickelodeon is Andrew Tagalini. That is correct. Andrew is on the board. Nice work, Andrew. Here is the next question. In NBA Jam, what phrase was shouted after 3 successful shots in a row? We actually joked about this yesterday on the live. What was the name of that phrase? All right, first to say he's on fire is JoJo the Chef. That is correct. JoJo the Chef. Still no clear winner for round 3. Let's keep going. What classic PC real-time strategy game became a meme for the priest conversion sound Wololo? What was that PC game? All right, first you say Age of Empires is Jack Eagle Eye. Oh, sorry, Jack Eagle Eye. I can't accept it because it doesn't sound like the word. I'm sorry, Jack. I'm going to have to give it to Kyle Liston. That is correct. Kyle Liston. On the board. Here we go. Next question. What 1993 blockbuster directed by Steven Spielberg featured genetically recreated dinosaurs escaping a theme park? All right, first to say Jurassic Park is Kyle Liston. That is correct. Kyle has won round 3. Nice work, Kyle. Kyle, that means you get a chance to win a t-shirt from 80sTees.com. We've got this G.I. Joe t-shirt. We've got this Ninja Turtles t-shirt. And we've got this Super Mario t-shirt, all from 80sTees.com. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to spin this wheel. If it lands on this 80sTees tab or this 80sTees tab, you will instantly win a t-shirt. Otherwise, we will play mini game. If you win that mini game, Kyle, you will win a t-shirt. All right, we've landed on dice, baby. Do, 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 do. All right, Kyle, how this game will work, I will roll the dice. If you land on a 1 to a 3, it's a victory. If you land on a 4 to a 6, then I'm sorry, it ain't it. All right, so we're gonna give this dice a roll. We'll get the wheel out of the way. We'll get the chair out of the way. And we're gonna roll the dice, hoping it'll land on a 1 to a 3. So here we go. Kyle Liston. Can we roll a 1 to a 3? You can't see what I rolled, can you? Kyle. I have rolled a 3, which means, Kyle, congratulations. You have won a t-shirt from 80sTees.com. Nice work, Kyle. Whoop, whoop. Now, let's see that fire emoji for Kyle. Let's light this room on fire. Kyle has won the first t-shirt of the night. Nice work, Kyle. Now, Kyle, just message me on Instagram, TerraTown, or in Facebook, Instagram, Terra.town, or Facebook, TerraTown, and we will get you hooked up with your shirt. All right? So, nice work, Kyle. Now, we do have 2 more t-shirts up for grabs to win tonight. So, let's keep playing. We've got 35 minutes left. Let's see who's going to win the next 2 t-shirts. All right, here we go. Next question. What Adam Sandler comedy features a failed hockey player competing in golf tournaments with a slap shot swing? What was the name of that comedy? Ooh, y'all are quick. All right, first to say Happy Gilmore is S. Wallace. That is correct. S. Wallace on the board for round 4. Nice work, S. Wallace. All right, here's the next question. In Terminator 2, Judgment Day, what phrase does the Terminator say just before destroying the T-1000 near the end of the film? What does he say? $99 jar binks with Hasta la Vista, baby. That is correct. 99 jar binks on the board for round 4. Here is the next question. What PC messaging service featured the iconic sound of a door opening when a friend logged in? This one you can abbreviate. All right, first to say AIM is S. Wallace. That is correct. S. Wallace, that is your second point this round. Here is the next question. What 1991 video game console helped popularize Sonic the Hedgehog? What was the name of that console? All right, first to say Sega is Tommy D. That is correct. Tommy D. On the board. Nice work, Tommy. All right, here's the next question. What MLB pitcher was nicknamed the Big Unit? What was the name of that pitcher? All right, first to say Randy Johnson is S. Wallace. That is correct. S. Wallace. Quick round. S. Wallace, congratulations. You have won round 4 with 3 points out of the 5. Nice work, S. Wallace. Now, S. Wallace, that means you get a chance to win this G.I. Joe t-shirt, this Super Mario t-shirt, or this Ninja Turtles t-shirt, all from 80sTees.com. If you land on this 80sTees tab or this 80sTees tab, you'll win a t-shirt. Otherwise, we'll play a mini game. If you win that mini game, then you will win a t-shirt, S. Wallace. So, S. Wallace, let's see where we're going to land. We've landed on hot or not. All right. So, S. Wallace, we're going to give this a bit of a shuffle. We're going to cut the deck. Oh, that was a good one to cut. I almost dropped this card, but I picked it up at the end. S. Wallace, I have pulled a king. Now, S. Wallace, do you believe that this card... Oh, sorry, this is Hot or Not High-Low Joe Joe. Never mind. Sorry, wrong game. I had a bit of a blip there. Hot or Not. Sorry. Okay. Salted Tool says not. Yeah, my bad. Okay, I pulled a card, S. Wallace. Here we go. Too bad it's not High-Low G.I. Joe, but it's Hot or Not. I've pulled a card, S. Wallace. You've got to tell me whether the card I pulled is red for hot or black for not. If you guess correctly, then you will win a t-shirt. S. Wallace, what is the color of this card? Red for hot or black for not? Let us know. S. Wallace, what is it? S. Wallace says red for hot. Okay. Let's see if S. Wallace is correct on this. S. Wallace, is it red for hot? S. Wallace, it is red for hot. Congratulations, S. Wallace. You have won a t-shirt from 80sTees.com. Nice work, S. Wallace. Everybody put that fire emoji. S. Wallace has won round 4. He has won a t-shirt from 80sTees.com. S. Wallace, message me on Instagram, Tara.town, or Facebook, Tara.town, to claim your prize. All right. Very nice work. Now, we still have one more t-shirt left to win. We've got half an hour left of trivia to go. So let's see who is going to win that last t-shirt. All right. Let's play trivia. Here's the next question. What was the name of the high school in Beverly Hills 90210? What was the name of that high school? All right, first to say West Beverly is meth. That is correct. Meth is the first point of round 5. Nice work. Here is the next question. What SNES football video game series was known for its fast-paced arcade style? What was the name of that football game? All right. We need the full name of the game and the Weights experience. Nice work, Weights. NFL Blitz is correct. Weights experience is on the board for round 5. All right, here's the next question. What 1997 Nintendo 64 shooter was famous for 4-player split-screen multiplayer? Full name of this game. The full name of this game. All right, first to say GoldenEye 007 is Crimson. That is correct. Crimson is on the board again. Nice work, Crimson. All right, here's the next question. In Pokemon Red and Blue, what professor gives you your very first starter Pokemon at the beginning of the game? What was the name of that professor? Ooh, quick. To say Oak is Race Everything. That is correct. Race Everything is on the board for round 5. Nice work, Race Everything. All right, here's the next question. What Nickelodeon cartoon featured a wallaby dealing with everyday life? What was the name of that show? All right, first to say, it looks like autocorrect got a lot of you guys. First to say Rocco's Modern Life is alphanumeric. That is correct. Alphanumeric is on the board. Now, I have asked 5 questions this round, but there's no clear winner, so we'll keep asking a question until there is a clear winner. All right. Here's the next question. What purple dragon starred in a popular PlayStation platformer series in the late 90s? What was the name of that dragon? Mel Blanc. First to say Spyro. That is correct. Mel Blanc is on the board. Nice work, Mel Blanc. All right, here's the next question. What classic arcade game featured a maze-running yellow character eating dots? What was the name of that game? All right, first to say Pac-Man is the captain. That is correct. The captain. On the board again. All right. Here is the next question. What Nintendo 64 fighting game featured characters like Pikachu and Fox? What was the name of that fighting game? Pikachu, Fox, Kirby. All right, first to say Super Smash Brothers is the captain. That is correct. The captain. The captain. Finally, lots of points on the board, but the captain has finally won round 5. Nice work, captain. Whoop, whoop, whoop. So, captain, this means you get a chance to win a t-shirt from 80sTees.com. We've got this G.I. Joe t-shirt, this Super Mario t-shirt, and this Ninja Turtles t-shirt, all from 80sTees.com. I will spin the wheel. If you land on this 80sTees tab or this 80sTees tab, you will win a shirt. Otherwise, we will play a mini game. If you win that mini game, then you will win a t-shirt. Oh, we've got dice, baby. Do. Okay, so how this game will work, it's pretty simple. Captain, if I roll a 1 to a 3, it's a victory for you, okay? You get a t-shirt. If I roll a 4 to 6, then I'm sorry, it ain't it, all right? So let's get some things out of the way. Let's see if we can roll a 1 to a 3 again. Fingers crossed. Cross your fingers. Let's see. Well, we're going to roll in dice, baby. All right, here we go. Can we get a 1 to a 3? Captain. Unfortunately, Captain, I have rolled a 6, which means, Captain, I am sorry, but you have not won this mini game, which means you have not won a t-shirt from 80sTees.com. But we still have a lot of time left. Still one more t-shirt to win. So let's see. Can you do it again, Captain? Can you win another round? Who's going to win the next round? Who's going to win the next t-shirt? Let's see. Let's see. All right. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Next question. What cereal used the slogan, "The taste you can see"? What was the name of that cereal? The taste you can see. All right, first to say Cinnamon Toast Crunch is the captain. He's making a comeback. Captain is making a comeback. That is correct, Captain. All right, here is the next question. In Super Mario 64, how many total power stars are there? In Super Mario 64, how many total power stars are there? Oh, erase everything. Quick to say 120. That is correct. Erase everything. On the board again. Nice work. All right, here's the next question. What was the mascot of Dunkaroos called? What was the mascot of Dunkaroos called? Who knows this one? Oh, this is a tricky one. This is a tricky one. What was the name of this kangaroo? Oh, Charles. First two say Sydney, the kangaroo. That is correct. Charles on the board. Nice work, Charles. All right. Here is the next question. Who was known as the answer in the NBA? Who was known as the answer in the NBA? All right, first two say Allen Iverson is Mike Nike. That is correct, Mike Nike. You are on the board for round 6. Nice work. Here's the next question. What snack came in long strips you could peel and eat? What snack came in a long strip that you could peel and eat? All right, first two say fruit. By the foot is Breonna Taylor. That is correct. Or is it Brian Taylor? Sorry, I've been calling you Brianna. Brian Taylor. Sorry, Brian. Brian, you've got a point. That is correct. Fruit by the foot. Nice work, Brian. All right. Now that is 5 questions. There is no clear winner, so we will keep asking questions until there is a clear winner for this round. All right. Next question. What show featured VR battles inside a digital world? This was an unlocked memory. I completely forgot. I used to watch the show until one of you guys, Jose, reminded me in one of the lives. All right, first two say VR Troopers is Jack Eagle Eye. That is correct. Jack Eagle Eye on the board for round 6. Nice work. Who's going to get round 6? Let's see. What was the name of the school in Recess? What was the name of the school in the show Recess? Anybody remember that name? Oh. Anyone? Uh-oh, we've got somebody who remembers. Jared Rickson with 3rd Street School. That is correct, Jared. Nice work. That was a hard one. Jared is on the board. Good work, Jared. Okay, next question. What brand made the original Trapper Keeper? What brand made the original Trapper Keeper? What was the name of the brand? Crimson Buccaneer. First two say Mead. That is correct. Crimson is on the board. We've got a big list of people on the board this round. Still no clear winner. Who's going to take it? Who's going to take it? Let's see. Next question. What number did Ken Griffey Jr. wear? What number did Ken Griffey Jr. wear? All right, first two say 24 is Race Everything. Race Everything. Congratulations, Race Everything. Honey, my audience, my laptop's making me log in. Here we go. Race Everything. You have won the big round of round 6. Nice work, Race Everything. Whoop, whoop. Which means you get a chance to win this G.I. Joe t-shirts, this Super Mario t-shirt, or this Ninja Turtles t-shirt, all from 80sTees.com. If you land on this 80sTees tab or this 80sTees tab, you will instantly win a t-shirt. Otherwise, we will play a mini game. If you win that mini game, then you will win a t-shirt. So, Race Everything, where are you going to land? Oh, Race Everything has landed on the 90s Queen. All right, Race Everything. Here's how this game will work. I've got 3 cards here. There's 2 jokers and a queen, the 90s Queen. You've got to tell me, out of these 3 cards, where is the 90s Queen hiding? If you guess correctly, you will win a t-shirt. So is she hiding behind 1, 2, or 3? 1, 2, 3. Race everything. Let me know where she's hiding. Race everything says 3. All right, let's see if race everything is correct. Let's see what's behind 1. She's not behind 1. Is she behind number 2? She is behind number 2. I'm sorry, race everything. You haven't won the mini game, which means you have not won a t-shirt from 80sTees, but it's all good. We've got 15 minutes left of trivia. You still have another chance. Everyone in here has a chance to win this last t-shirt. Let's keep playing. See who's going to win the final t-shirt of the night. All right, let's start. Round 7. Here we go. Round 7. Here's the next question. What was Crash Bandicoot originally called during development? What was Crash Bandicoot originally called during development? Uh-oh, we've got Benny's got a pun. Thank you, Benny, for your super chat. Benny says, I'm a TMNT. I'm dynamite. TMNT. Nice, Benny. Some Ninja Turtle halftime entertainment. Thank you, Benny. All right, let's see who's going to get this one. This is a bit of a tricky one. Oh, Jack Eagle Eye with Willie the Wombat. That is correct. Jack Eagle Eye, first point for round 7. Nice work, Jack Eagle Eye. You were on the board. Here is the next question. What were the scented markers called that smelled like fruit? What were the scented markers called that smelled like fruit? All right, first to say Mr. Sketch is FRM. That is correct. FRM is on the board. Next question. What cartoon featured monsters attending a school led by the Grumble? What was the name of that cartoon? All right, first you say, real monsters is Sarah. That is correct. Sarah, one of our winners from last week, on the board. Here is the next question. What candy introduced the mystery flavor concept? What candy introduced the mystery flavor concept? In the 90s, what was the name of that candy? All right, first to say Airheads is Crimson. That is correct. Crimson on the board again. Nice work, Crimson. All right, here's the next question. Which show featured superheroes including Robin and Starfire? Which show featured superheroes including Robin and Starfire? All right, first to say Teen Titans is Madolche. Is that how you pronounce your name? We'll call you Mad. Mad, nice work, Mad. Teen Titans is the correct answer. All right, here is the next question. What Batman villain had a coin and split personality? What Batman villain had a coin and split personality? All right, first to say Two-Face is Crimson Buccaneer. That is correct. Crimson. Nice work, Crimson. You have won round 7. Awesome work, Crimson. Now, Crimson, that means you get a chance to win a t-shirt from 80sTees. The t-shirts we've got up for grabs tonight is this G.I. Joe t-shirt, this Super Mario t-shirt, and this Ninja Turtles t-shirt, all from 80sTees.com. So I'm going to spin the wheel. If you land on this 80sTees tab or this 80sTees tab, you will instantly win a t-shirt. Otherwise, we will play a mini game. If you win that mini game, you will win a t-shirt. So let's see. We have landed on hot or not. All right, Crimson. I'm going to give the deck a bit of a shuffle, Crimson. Bit of a shuffle. I'm going to split the deck. All right. Crimson, you got to tell me if the card I pulled is red for hot or black for not. If you guess correctly, you will win a t-shirt. Crimson, is it red for hot or black for not? Let us know. Crimson is saying black for not. Let's see if Crimson is correct. Is this card black for not for the final t-shirt of the night? Oh, it is not black. It is red for hot. I am so sorry, Crimson. That means you have not won a t-shirt for this round. However, we still have a good 10 minutes left of trivia. One more t-shirt to win. Let's see who's going to win this last t-shirt. All right, round 8. Round 8. Next 5 questions. Here we go. Which NBA team did Michael Jordan return to in 1995 after playing baseball? Which team did he return to? Crimson with the Bulls. That is correct. Crimson making a comeback. Nice work, Crimson. All right, here's the next question. What were collectible scented stickers called? What were the collectible scented stickers called? Teachers would often put this on your test. What was the name of those stickers? All right, first to say scratch and sniff is low-key troll. That is correct. Low-key, nice work. You've got a point for round 8. Here's the next question. What brand became iconic for basketball shoes with air technology? What brand became iconic for basketball shoes with air technology? All right, Captain. First you say Nike. That is correct. Captain is making a comeback as well. Nice work, Captain. All right, here is the next question. In Ocarina of Time, what instrument does Link play? In the game Ocarina of Time, what instrument does Link play? T-Pro, first to say Ocarina. That is correct. T-Pro on the board. Nice work, T-Pro. Here is the next question. What cereal originally featured only marshmallows like moons, stars, and hearts? What was the name of that cereal? The Captain with Lucky Charms. That is correct. Captain. That was a quick round. Captain. Congratulations, Captain. You have won round 8. That is your second point this round, which means, Captain, you've got another chance to win a t-shirt tonight. All right. Captain, I've got this G.I. Joe t-shirt, this Super Mario t-shirt, and this Ninja Turtles t-shirt, all up for grabs tonight. If you land on this 80sTees tab or this 80sTees tab, you will instantly win a shirt. Otherwise, we will play a mini game. If you win that mini game, you will win a t-shirt. So, Captain, let's see where the wheel will go. We've got high-low G.I. Joe, Captain. High-low G.I. Joe. All right, Captain, we're going to give it a shuffle. We're going to give it a shuffle. All right. We're going to pull the deck. Split the deck. Here we go. Oh, Captain. Captain, 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 Captain. I have pulled an ace. Captain, ace is the highest in this game. Captain, you've got to tell me whether this card here is higher or lower than an ace. If you guess correctly, then you will win a t-shirt. Captain, I have a feeling you're going to guess correctly in this game. Captain, is this card higher or lower than an ace? Captain says, please be lower, my blood pressure. Captain, is this card lower than an ace? Oh, it is. It is lower than an ace, which means Captain, my Captain, you, my friend, have won a t-shirt from 80sTees.com. Congratulations, Captain. You lost the first game. You hung in there. You won the second game. Everyone put that fire emoji. Nice work, Captain. You have won the last t-shirt of tonight. Captain, message me on Instagram, Tara.town, or Facebook, TaraTown, to claim your prize. All right? Now, that is all the t-shirts that have been won. We still have 4 minutes left of trivia. I don't have any more t-shirts to give out, but we will continue on with our trivia. So let's keep doing it, shall we? All right, here we go. Trivia for kicks and giggles now. Round 9. Here we go. What pencil brand is famous for its yellow #2 pencils? This one's a bit of a hard one. What pencil brand is famous for the yellow #2 pixels? If whoever gets this one, I'm going to be impressed with. Oh, you guys know this one. What? Mighty. First to say Dixon Ticonderoga. I can't even pronounce it. That is correct, Mighty. Nice work, Mighty. Good work, Mighty. Good work, Mighty. All right, next question. Give me a break, give me a break, break me off a piece of that blank. Fill in the blank. Give me a break, break me off a piece of that blank. All right, first to say Kit Kat bar is Sarah. That is correct, Sarah. Sarah's on the board for round 9. Here's the next question. What snack came with crackers, cheese, and sometimes meat in compartments? We were talking about this yesterday when we were doing our outdoor live, thinking that this one would be a good one for a picnic. SquarePants. First to say Lunchables. That is correct. SquarePants. Nice work. Here is the next question. What cartoon featured half man, half shark heroes? Half man, half shark heroes. All right, first to say Street Sharks is Mad Dolce. That is correct. Mad on the board. Nice work, Mad. All right, here's the next question. Fill in the blank. Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. Almond Joy's got nuts, blank don't. What is the blank? Let me know. Sarah, first to say Mounds. That is correct, Sarah. That is 5 questions. And Sarah. Sarah, our winner from last week. Congratulations. You have won round 9. Nice work, Sarah. Whoop, whoop. Now, Sarah, all the t-shirts have already been won tonight, but do you want to spin the wheel? See if you can play the mini game and beat the mini game to see if, you know, you would have won a shirt. We've got hot or not, Sarah. Sarah, I'm going to split the deck. Have I split red for hot or black for not? If you guess correctly, you will win this mini game. Sarah, what is your guess? What is Sarah's guess? So the tools is saying not. The they world is saying not. But where is Sarah? Has she already said something? I haven't seen her. Where is Sarah? Sarah. Earth to Sarah. Sarah, do you Roger? Sarah, is it black for not or red for hot? Sarah, you've got 5 seconds left to guess. Sarah, 5, 4, 3. Okay, there we go. There she is. Sarah's here. Sarah says red for hot. Sarah, is this card red for hot? Sarah says I kept sending KT. Oh, Sarah, I am sorry. It is not red. It is black, but that is okay because there's no t-shirts left anyway. But you have won round 9 anyway, so good job, Sarah. Good job, Sarah. Now, y'all, it is already 9 o'clock Central, which means we have already finished an hour of trivia. It went by so quickly today. So congratulations to all the winners tonight. Please message me, S. Wallace, Kyle Liston, and Captain. Message me on Instagram or Facebook, Terratown, and we will get you hooked up with your prize. Nice work. Now, if you enjoyed this session, we will do another trivia next week, 8 o'clock Central, same time, same place. Be there or be square. Otherwise, we are going to have an after party in just a couple of minutes. In that after party, we will just chill, hang out, talk 90s nostalgia, get to know each other a bit better. So stick around. It's always a fun time. It's always a fun time. So, yes. Joe says I got one right. Good job, Joe. Good job. Jared says same Terra time, same Terra town. That's it. Superbird says, did I miss the game? You did, Superbird. But weren't you playing, Superbird? I thought I saw your name in there. Tim says, will there be dancing in the after party? There might be. You never know. You never know what's going to happen on these lives. Yesterday, we had an outdoor live. We've done cooking on the live. We've done dancing. We've done Pictionary. You never know. So thank you all so much for playing. Again, if you haven't gone on 80sTees, definitely go on that website. Actually, let me just quickly show you what it looks like. I have met Kevin, the owner of 80sTees, who is graciously giving us these prizes. He is awesome. He's a cool dude. Quality of his shirts are amazing. There's a lot of people in the chat who have won t-shirts from 80sTees or have purchased 80sTees t-shirts. So definitely check them out. They also have tall sizes, which is awesome. So if you're a tall dude, they've got the tall sizes, which is pretty amazing. Now this is what the website looks like, 80stees.com. And I always go to the search bar here and just type in what I'm looking for. But you can also go down here and it's got different categories like movies, fantasy, superheroes, video games, that sort of thing. So I'll just click on one so you can get an idea. So if I type in, or if I click on horror t-shirts, then it just gives a list of like tons. And that's just one category. So, I mean, they've just got a treasure trove literally of t-shirts on there. So Definitely check it out if you're looking for a nostalgic t-shirt. It is awesome. Or just to relive some nostalgic memories. It is awesome. So, Jarbinks, thank you for the super chat, Jarbinks. Good to see ya. Jarbinks says, can't wait for next week. I will have to sit out after party. Got to work tomorrow. We'll have a good night at work tomorrow, Jarbinks. I'll see you all in the next live stream. Thank you again, Tara. Thank you, Jarbinks. You're so kind, man. Thank you so much for joining tonight. And we will go live. I try to go live on Monday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays between the hours of like 8 and 12 a.m., sometimes later. So definitely join us in the lives if you enjoy live streaming. Good to see you, Jarbinks. Good to see you. Oh, Benny's got a pun. Thank you, Benny, for your super chat. Benny says, did a child male cattle eat lunch a bull? Oh, Benny. Benny's always got a pun for us. Thank you, Benny. Thank you, Benny. Thank you, Benny. All right. Well, guys, we're going to jet off. In 5 minutes, I'll come back on the live and we will do the after party. Okay. So 5 minutes, take a bathroom break, grab a snack, drink, blanket, whatever you need, fireplace. And we will have the after party live in just a few minutes. Okay. I'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much for playing. Adios, amigos.